Hi, everyone, and welcome to Decision Point Systems on-demand webinar on 4 mobility issues you can proactively solve for, the retail edition. Since this is a recorded session, should you have any questions about the content, or if you'd like to contact one of our presenters, please reach out to our team's inbox at info@decisionpt.com. We are thrilled to have Don Sarin, Director of IT Managed Services at Decision Point Systems, leading today's webinar session. Alongside Don will be Matt Reeder and Julie McClenahan from SOTI, our strategic partner and leading enterprise mobility mobile management provider. These subject matter experts will add to the conversation to share their insights and best practices in the retail space. And now over to you, Don.
Thank you. We'll be covering 4 issues today on today's call. First, we'll be talking about what happens if your admin leaves the company, devices consistent across all stores, also devices not provisioned for multiple uses from a single device, and how to keep PCI compliant and manage malware threats. The first issue we're going to be going over is your IT administrator leaves. According to a turnover report from LinkedIn, the tech industry has the highest turnover rate of any industry. It's approximately 13.2%. And in fact, even global tech giants have trouble with employee tenure. Most have a median average employee tenure of only 1 to 2 years. So how do you prepare for a seamless succession? What do you do if your admin leaves and quote unquote takes the keys with them? And what we found is that IT operations are skinny. So you may have one person assigned to the MDM platform, but do you have time to have people cross-trained? Do you have time to make sure that all of your processes, documentation, and procedures are fully documented so someone can come in and take over if someone leaves the company? Give you an idea, working with a transportation company, they had a single MDM administrator, and he left the company suddenly to take another opportunity, and he literally had the IDs and passwords to access the MDM platform. They had to immediately reach out and try to regain that access, and were unable to find that individual. So that's kind of a worst case scenario, but something that you need to consider as you're deploying an MDM for your enterprise. And when you manage the MDM yourselves, you always have to stay on top of employee retention. You may not have available staff well versed in this particular technology or mobile device management in general. This is all why mobile workers are still calling in every day to the IT department and help desk for things like remote access and troubleshooting, pushing mobile application updates to the field, and security patches. And finally, but most importantly, ensuring that all the security updates are up to date and compliant. The MDM skill set and working knowledge of how and why the profiles are constructed also can be overlooked. So, why did you put this application in this particular way? Why did you upload this device first or that device second? Why did you have to erase the profile before putting a new profile on? All these kinds of things are done over the course of time, and if they're not well documented, who creates updates and test profiles? Who verifies application updates? What's the help desk tier 2 support remote access plan if you don't have someone managing the platform? And do you have anyone else with any kind of experience or any kind of knowledge of this of your platform and why it was constructed in a certain way? These are the kind of things you need to understand at all times before you move ahead. We have MDM management solution that first we do professional services. Our engineers have a combined 90 years of experience consulting and managing for our customers. And specifically for retail, we've done dozens of MDM environment builds specifically to the retail industry. So it's not the first time we've done this. We understand the needs and the various application types that are deployed within the retail environment. So we understand where the gotchas are in each instance based on the application you're using, and we can help set up the proper structure of the MDM environment to support a retail environment specifically. Give an idea for some of our customers, we'll manage everything from the Wi-Fi network to the point of sale systems and even down to the printers from the MDM platform. So they have the kind of experience where you're able to build an environment across a variety of solutions within the same company, but at the same time push it out to each type of device that you may have deployed. Another thing we do in this environment is also set up things like what's called a white label. So if you have an environment, if you have a product that you're selling to other folks and you want to provide it as a service to your customers, we're able to use an MDM platform and set that platform up to specifically be able for you to deploy your devices, pre-configured on a device, and keep that solution up to date without your customers having to do that themselves. Adds quite a bit of value if you're in that marketplace. We also provide we also provide day 2 support as well. So we act as your tier 2 for your help desk. What we're able to do is partner with your tier 1 help desk, and when they have a problem that they can't solve, that the MDM solution can, they can use the MDM solution to remote access into that device. They can go in and update policies or reapply a profile or something of that sort to help clear the issue. They can even do it with remote access as well. So we'll get into some more of that later. So what do you do about your devices not being consistent across stores? This is another issue we see in the retail environment. Having the right technology in place is positively impacts several aspects of any retail store, specifically job satisfaction, and stores have to be the resources to be more efficient. They can automate and digitize various tasks. And but challenges arrive when store associates have to adapt using digital technology on the fly with minimal training. So if you can't go out there and handhold each location, we're able to use the MDM support to help in this way. And let me just tell you why. There's nothing worse than having technology necessary for your job not functioning. So what do you do if you can't fix devices remotely? You have to overbuy devices, keep them provisioned and on hand, or you can fix a device in real time. Using the remote control feature of the MDM platform, help desk techs can work directly with the device and the device settings. You don't have to tell someone to press this button or hit Control Alt or what have you. The help desk is able to remote into that device and make the repairs themselves. It saves valuable time, and it limits the frustration with end users for them having to follow your instructions at the help desk direction. It saves quite a bit of frustration on both sides, really, and helps get that device cleared quickly. One fun example of how remote control can be effective is that one of our customers had a device stolen, and our team, they called out to our team, our tier 2 tech, took over, remoted into the device, actually turned the camera on so they can identify where that device was located, call the appropriate authorities and get that device back just using the remote control feature. So lots of benefits for day-to-day work and some interesting things you can do it as well if you need to. So tech ranks high on the list of factors that could really help reduce work-related stress. Just behind, they found it just behind better pay and vacation time. 46% of the respondents in the study that we're referencing said even they value technological tools over health support and wellness benefits. So while having the right tools is incredibly important, they have to be in working order to help not hinder the employee's ability to do their job. Matt, did you have any other comments on remote control and controlling devices across platforms?
Well, yeah. So Don, it's a lot of organizations today have a wide range of different types of devices. And I don't mean just different barcode scanners or different smartphones or tablets or laptops, or the list goes on, but even the types of operating systems now, when you think of the good old days back with Windows Mobile and Windows CE, a lot of those devices would stay pretty static for many years. But a lot of the new age operating systems, especially Android, definitely iOS, they're constantly being updated. So it's not just the amount of devices in the business or mobile technology. It's not also the diversity of different technology having to interact together. The IT director or manager or support rep has to be an expert in all of the above, and they need to stay within the organization and not be recruited by someone else or leave the organization for whatever reason, because then all that knowledge goes out the door as well. So honestly, I think a lot of customers are struggling with, well, how do I deal with all this? How do I keep up to speed? You mentioned things like remote control and being able to do a lot of troubleshooting remotely. I think that all comes back to the decision point, services and options and availability, and supporting customers the way they need to be supported. So I don't think it's one area or the other. I think a lot of customers in different areas and different situations would benefit from this. And obviously you're highlighting here that there's not consistent technology in every single store in every single location, but that's just one of many challenges. So a lot of customers are struggling with this, and they don't really know what to do or how to solve it. But I think that search kind of starts here, because yes, and yes. And I think it's the technology. I think it's the constant updating. I think it's the knowledge transfer that, people really need to be experts in everything now. And your team has over 90 years experience with mobile projects and mobile deployments. So I think kind of all of these will resonate in different areas with different customers and different use cases. So yeah, and that remote control obviously is a really cool example of being able to locate stolen property, but just by turning on the camera. And that's a really cool tip and trick that you can use. You want to know who stole a device, turn on the front-facing camera, and you can see who's looking at the device. Or if you want to, you can GPS locate it and recover that device in real time, so you can, find out who stole it, bring it back, and get that investment back as well. So a lot of cool tips and tricks that hopefully everyone's going to learn on today's session as well.
Okay, thanks, Matt. So moving on to, oops. Huh. I'll fix that later. The second issue, if you have, is to have one device for many, we use one device for many different use cases. So why would you want to use one device for many functions? There's a lot of good things that come along with this. One is using having a clean inventory of devices. So you have a single device out there. You don't have to figure out who has what type of device, what version it is, what its capabilities are. You've got one device that you can use for every one of your employees and all of your use cases. Nice feature too is if you're buying in bulk like that, you get a better price for your devices. And it's convenient to your employees because they don't have to look for the right device to do their job. So you'll have many devices that look similar, and you'll have to have, a manager have to figure out which is a manager provision device, and a storefront employee will have to figure out what's proper for them, and a distributor, etc. So having a single device, everyone can just grab and go. That'll life a lot easier. You also save on accessories. So if you have a ruggedized device, you'll know that they come with a variety of batteries or things of that sort that need to go along with the device, hand scanners, things of that. So what you're able to do is just buy one one set of accessories for each one and deploy it throughout your company. It also allows you to maintain a smaller spares pool allocation. So as you're sparing your devices, you don't have to have, 10 of one, 20 of another, 30 of another, and have to keep control of the spares pools. With a single device, you've got everything in one place with a single count. Just think about what it would be like if you could have your back-end inventory folks using the same device as your managers and your frontline sales folks also having the same device, but each one sees an image specific to them. So how would you get that done? Normally, what we're doing is we're integrating a user logon with Active Directory. So that's the usual source of authentication, and it sets up the categorization for each of the end users. The Google platforms are also supported as well. So what you do is you use the profile configurations, can change device settings such as the authentication requirements, Wi-Fi connections, and email accounts specifically to that user. And then for SOTI, Matt, do you want to tell us how the integration works on the SOTI side?
Yeah, so MobiControl Cloud integrates directly, both on-premise and cloud integrate directly to LDAP server. So if you want to authenticate on the mobile device, you can use your same usernames and passwords and authentication that you already use for your desktops and laptops, which is fantastic. But you can also use it for integration for logins for server access. So I think, Don, one of the things that you brought up initially was, well, what happens if the employee leaves? What if your IT director or IT manager leaves the business? Well, you can also use the same integration for Active Directory to control the usernames and passwords for the server-side access as well. So server-side management. So Active Directory can provide authentication both for device side access, who can access these mobile devices, but also who can access the server. So as organizations hire or replace staff, it can happen all automatically within Active Directory, because once you block that user, or someone has left or been terminated or resigned from the business, as soon as you block them Active Directory, suddenly they can't access the management systems, and you don't have to go through every product within your IT department and block them. You just turn it off in Active Directory, and suddenly maybe they can't access any of the server-side software within the company. So it's a really slick and easy way to control who has access to the IT management systems, and especially mobile device management, because it's all in one place. You just either grant access within Active Directory or you block access. And then you don't have to remember to go through, well, wait, what did that person have access to? And then block their access one at a time in every single solution or product. You can just do it in Active Directory. So it makes it really slick and easy to manage when you hire new staff, or when employees leave the organization for whatever reason. Yeah, I think a lot of our customers like to leverage this as the main authentication place.
Yeah, and let's go over how the MDM solution can help with the actual configurations. So the advanced configurations setting are more comprehensive settings that can modify a device's behavior. So it interacts with SOTI MobiControl with such things as the update schedule or limiting its access to certain networks. So you're able to differentiate that way. It also has a settings manager. It's an app built into SOTI MobiControl that limits device user access to certain device settings that are chosen only by the administrator. So you're able to limit, the functionality of the device, just the specific job tasks. And the settings manager app enables SOTI MobiControl administrator to control access to a subset of device settings while the device is in lockdown mode. So if you don't want the end users using certain functions, you just limit that user to the specific job tasks. So things like scanning an inventory, or price matches, inventory lookups, things of that sort, you can control from that setting as well. So the other thing we do for companies is staging and kitting. And what this allows you to do is devices sent to the retail locations, of course, they need to work out of the box. And we're working with an MDM environment. We stage device that functions, so it functions to the specifications and it's ready for use by the end users out of the box. So it allows for the folks just to grab and go with the devices when they start, when we do a refresh of devices, as opposed to having to send techs on site or things of that sort that would be required if you just sent them as cold devices to the end users. The other thing we do is kit the device with accessories. In the real-time environment, we do things like Bluetooth barcode scanners or payment reader systems, and it ensures that those end users don't have to struggle with setting these devices up. So it's going to limit your service downtime. It's going to severely curtail the number of help desk calls you're going to have to field as these end users try and set up things on their own. So using the staging and kitting and the mobile Sodium Mobile Control together allows you to send pre-provisioned devices ready to go out to your field, regardless of the use type or device. And the nice thing for you in the IT world is it's already when it comes out of the box, it's ready to go. It's set, and it's actually the inventory is already completed for you, so you don't need to know what devices went where. You already have that at your fingertips. You also don't need to dedicate your skilled personnel to do low-level things like Bluetooth pairing and things of that sort that are much better done in bulk by a group that's doing that every day. And you also don't need to maintain a lot of staff that have expertise in provisioning devices. When our team, since we do it all day, every day, we're able to do it quickly and efficiently for your team. You can let your people keep doing what they do best. So next issue we're going to talk about is staying PCI compliant with malware threats. Excuse me. For example, a leading technology distributor was locked out of their. I'm sorry. A leading technology distributor was locked out of their access portal. So where we would go to order new equipment was locked out for over a week as they tried to clear their ransomware problems. And another example is an auto parts retailer was locked out due to a ransomware attack, and they discovered that in the after incident report, the attack originated through a mobile device downloading malware that gave access to their core infrastructure. So, you think a smartphone is a device that can be used safely. You do have to consider that it is a network. That is a network access point. And a lot of folks think that ransomware and things of that sort can't penetrate if you're using cloud as your primary network source. So to fully understand how ransomware can infect cloud storage, let's just examine the most common approaches to cloud storage. If your cloud storage is vulnerable to ransomware to a large extent because it's syncing with local data storage devices, be that a smartphone, be that a POS terminal. So when ransomware strikes, it's going to rip through your files locally and encrypt them, and then the file sharing engine is going to go ahead and sync that with the cloud storage copy as well. So the same concept is true in enterprise scenarios where cloud storage gateways or other storage tiering solutions. So a local copy is likely to become encrypted by the ransomware and sync up to the cloud, perpetuating the infection. So alternatively, if there's a pointer, a file sharing system, it's liable to recall a copy of the item from the cloud and encrypt it and sync it with the encrypted version of the item back up in the cloud at some point. So basically it's a two-way path. And if you've got an infection at a local level, that's going to propagate to your cloud level as well, and vice versa. So what are some things we can do to mitigate these concerns? So an antivirus whitelist can be used to add applications and files that you want to be whitelisted by the antivirus program. And this can be pushed through Moby Control platform. What that allows you to do is limit just to the files and locations that you want your end users to have access to, and nothing else. The application monitoring system is used to scan applications that are already installed or executed, and it checks them for viruses. So applications are scanned when they are launched, and you can send potentially infected applications to the quarantine folder or have them deleted. So you have mitigation paths as well using that tool. And the file system monitoring is used to scan any newly downloaded or modified files for viruses. So it's a frontline defense. So as new items are added to that device, the virus scan is pushed by the MDM to verify that that file is not corrupted. And you can schedule to run these antivirus scans and update your virus definitions, and you can empty the virusware quarantine all using the MDM platform. So Matt, how hard or easy is this for an end user to set up?
So actually, you're right. The education part is probably the biggest challenge. A lot of people didn't know that there's antivirus available for these types of edge devices or these barcode scanners or mobile devices that are on the edge of the network. The good news is it's really easy to set up. Once you know about it, you know what to look for, and your team obviously at Decision Point is very well versed in how to set this up within SOTI to make sure all of the end devices are being scanned on some type of regular interval. And you're right, once you get into the console and you know how to navigate the system to create a profile, deploy it down to all the devices, honestly it can take under 2 minutes to have all of your devices protected and scanned for viruses on regular intervals. So I think the most important part is educating customers and users to know that this is available on mobile technology. It's not just for desktops and laptops. When you think of antivirus, a lot of it now is on handhelds and mobile devices to make sure that they're protected. But your team, I think, can set this up in under 2 or 3 minutes fairly quickly once they have access to SOTI, once they're in there. Because of those best practices and tips and tricks, we can make sure that anyone on that's listening to this broadcast or that has mobile devices or is interested in this, we can even demo this for them within again just a few minutes once you know how to navigate within SOTI and where to click and to deploy the profile. So it's quick and easy. Ask and we'll walk you through it and teach you how to do it.
Okay, so that is our presentation. If you have any questions or if you've generated any interest in learning more about our MDM solutions and our MDM management, you can give us a call at the email and phone number there.